It's your Wednesday night conversation. It's more than just the gossip. It's the issues that matter most to you. A closer look at current events, just the tip, special guests, and more. Welcome to Let's Have a Fefe, Arizona's longest-running drag live stream. Hosted by Felicia Fefe Minor and Freddy Prinze Charming. Streaming live on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Promotional consideration for Let's Have a Fefe provided by Wigs of a Kind, The Burly Barber, Bone and Basil, as well as our patrons at Patreon. Go to patreon.com/letshaveafefe to become a Fefe patron. Virtual tips accepted at paypal.me/letshaveafefe. Welcome to Let's Have a Fefe.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Oh my goodness.
Season finale, and
I know.
still can't get it together. I tell you.
We literally have one job.
Well, actually, I have like 4 or 5 because I don't know when to quit. But so I don't think I look that bad without lashes. But
just paint them on. It's fine. Just draw them.
I'll just put them on like I did when Nick was on.
Perfect.
They'll be wonky.
You want to borrow my mustache? You can just put it across the top, and those will be.
I have one like that. I just haven't worn it yet. Welcome to Let's Have a Fefe. This is the season finale. I didn't even put my headphones in. I hope you're not hearing an echo. Like when you see a woman that you usually see with eyeliner on, and you see her for the first time without eyeliner.
Yes,
I feel like that's what's like I am missing that element on my face. This is your Wednesday night conversation. It has been your Wednesday night conversation for that last almost
9
decade.
seasons. I know, and next year it'll be 10 years. It's crazy.
And so
crazy.
We're gonna take some time off to focus on getting our Patreon up to par, getting ourselves up to par, and not showing up like this. Actually, for having like 30 minutes or less, I think I did okay. But to say the least, I am happy that we're for the most.
Well, we didn't. I mean, we didn't really. We didn't really take a break between. No, we had it was like 2 weeks, but I think it was because we were doing something. It wasn't because we were actually taking a break. It was because I think something was going on or somebody was something. So we took 2 weeks and then immediately came back. So it's not like we took our usual break. So we've been going now for almost 2 seasons straight.
Yeah. So for those that don't watch regularly, we usually take off before I have graduation. That's usually when my cue is oh, this is getting kind of tight, but I still pulled it off this year. I don't know how. And we are still going, but this will be our season finale because because of just the way things are, we need a break and we need to make things fresh for you all, come up with new ideas, because I love that part. I love coming up with new ideas, finding out who our new guests are, and just, giving it time to breathe, as they say sometimes in music. Just giving it a chance to breathe is sometimes the best medicine for something of our nature that has been going this long. And some people have no recollection of this, and then some people are like, "Are you still doing that?" Those people. But we like to thank our 19 patrons. Allison, Best, and Brandon, Cassandra 1S, Cassandra 2S, Drake Jensen, Casey Starr, Carrie and Corey, Kim, Joan, Leanne,
Miss Jody.
Sorry, Jody, Nicole, Patricia Mason, Sassy C. Diaz, Shelly, and Sky. Special thanks to our friends, Cassandra 1S, Patricia Mason, Sky, and Drake Jensen for taking the deeper plunge. So that over this break, we won't be working as hard, but we will be working hard to provide content for our Patreon supporters. And all I can say is thank you for the continued support, because I don't even know like what we would be doing if we didn't have support. I think we would still be going, but
we'd still be doing this. It would just be like, hey, so what's up?
It just feels good to be supported. That's what
absolutely it does. Absolutely.
Special thanks to Joan of Bobish Jewelry and Wood Art, who is loving life in Chicago. Guido Martin, who I talked to over the weekend and contributed some things for this week. And Jeremy Bright of Ripple Phoenix. The chariot is out, so be sure to go to ripplephoenix.org, and it's Ripple, spelled the way it should be, RIPPLE, and then Phoenix is PHX.org. But you can donate to all those other people, but more importantly, you could donate to us by going to paypal.me/let's-have-a-Fefe and supporting us, because we hope that next season we come back. We always try to improve every season, that there's no doubt. But hopefully our technology has improved, and that you don't see us trying to update our computers as we try to go live.
I turned my computer on at like it was probably like 6 o'clock just to make sure. And sure enough, it's like, welcome to Windows. Let's get you all set up. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, are you serious? I was really glad that I turned it on then. New? Yeah. Apparently it updated my Windows or something. Yeah. So I was really glad that I did that early instead of like waiting. But I had a feeling, because the last like few times I've turned on my fucking computer, and I was just on my computer yesterday, but of course for some reason it always waits until Wednesday to do this shit, which is a pain in my ass.
Oh.
Yeah.
It said, you know what? You're on here more frequently on Wednesday.
Right. So we'll just do all the things on Wednesday.
Let's do it then. Yeah, let's do it. Let's see. And you can also text LHAF laugh to 602-730-7379. Even when we're not on, I promise that my nudes are not that horrible.
Gabe, that's not the light. That's like the demon inside is what that is. It's
oh. Did you miss that part? I haven't put on my demon lashes. That's why.
So without the lashes, they're more light.
You actually can see my eyes. Look at that.
It's fine. You look fine. Nobody can tell. I'm not wearing lashes either.
Oh Lord. What'd you do this weekend? And I know you're gonna razz me to death.
I am gonna razz you to death, because what the fuck? Okay. So my partner and I decided to have a very small get together of vaccinated folks, and we did like a little game night on Saturday night, and oh my god, it was so much fun. This was like the first time I've really socialized in well over a year with people that are outside of like the people I live with. Like other than you, but even then we haven't really socialized. We've driven to Tucson twice, and like we've done a couple things, but you haven't just come over to hang out. You know what I mean? Like we've done stuff, but you haven't just like hung out. So
this is true. I'm a horrible friend.
You are a terrible friend. But it was so much fun. It really was. It was just a small. Oh my god, Felicia. It was just a small group of folks, and we were playing Cards Against Humanity, and no one wanted to go home. Like everybody was up past their bedtime, and it was like even I was like, no, we're good. We can just keep going, and we just kept playing. And I haven't.
I'll be right back.
Okay. I haven't laughed that hard in so long. Like it was crazy. It was just, yeah, it was everything. And I needed that so much. And everybody knows, who really knows me, knows that I am an introvert. And I don't I don't like a lot of people, and my sort of my limit for things is pretty low. But this was
I'm kind of the same way too. I go to the state fair on like Mondays.
Right. But this was like, I needed this, and Felicia was supposed to come but bailed. So
yeah, we could talk about that.
What did you do this weekend?
Well, other than trying to put on my lashes, let's see. I worked a lot. So sorry, I could not put on my lashes because this thing is backwards. And so,
yes.
Oh no, I need to put you back. There you
go.
Ooh, they wonky.
Wow, that's, you should have just stuck them like,
look, I'll just hold them like this, so you see
next
my
time. Just
lashes.
stick them like by your brows. It'll be easier. Oh, that's,
see, that one's good. This one is the crooked.
What is that? That's pretty spectacular. Shannon, next time we do it, you'll have to come. Because we have the bigger, blacker box, so it's got like all the expansion packs. I love and everything.
Bigger, blacker box.
Yeah.
And now, Gabe, you can't see into my soul. You're welcome. I will no longer allow you to see inside my soul. So let's talk about, because we don't have a tip, let's talk about relationships and how children affect relationships. Oh, wow. This one's like wide open. Hey, everybody. This one's like, hey, maybe. Anyway, but so it's really weird to experience this so late in our relationships. It's so weird, to me anyway, because there are things like, for me, I don't score keep, and I mean that in the nicest, loving way. I don't say like, I've done this so many times that you now need to do it. So what happened was, and we were talking throughout the day, and so I'm trying to like, it's almost like I'm playing like chess or something, because I'm trying to fill this out, because if you guys don't know, the baby lives with yes, I got the Gia gun eye. But like, things, we've never like raised a child before, so right now we're like raising the little one, the glam baby. So some things are not like how they used to be. Like, we used to have more independence. Is that
right?
Is that fair to say? And as a person that understands the nature of children and babies, I understand how that can be. It can be overwhelming some days. And so last week was a little bit play by ear, because my husband, in a loving way, is a scorekeeper. And so he's seeing that I haven't been home because I've been working. So that's a huge chunk. Then I come home and do this. That's 3 days of me not tending to my responsibility, if that's the way you want to see it, or just not being present, I guess. Because I'm starting to realize that sometimes it's not about me doing things. Sometimes it's about me being present. So I'm new to this whole thing because we've been together almost 15 years now. And this is the first time that because when I met Scott, his children were 3 and 6. So our kids were 3 and 6. And so this is different for me because I haven't I've raised children, but not raised children like from the get-go, like second birthday is coming up. So it's very strange. And so in his mind, I think that I wasn't there all week, and now I'm asking or saying like, "Oh, I'm gonna go," and you haven't. And also to add to the fire, he hasn't gotten away either. So, not that that's my fault, but at the same time, I am that partner that is like, okay, okay, but eventually we'll have to break the box down and figure out what is not acceptable, but like what is, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I think it's about boundaries. I think it's, I mean, each of you are absolutely entitled to have, separate lives and, separate interests and things like that outside of the home and the baby. And I think that one thing that a lot of parents tend to do is they tend to be like, well, now we have this kid, so our entire lives have to focus around this kid.
So, and this is nothing against my mother or anybody else's parent that does this. In my adult life, I've had conversations with my mother, who is now retired, who has been retired since December and is still trying to feel her way.
Mm-hmm.
And many of the discussion, she blames herself for putting us first.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, she lost a bit of her identity to the fact that she was able to be at every sports event, be at every recital, be at every whatever, and not lose yourself, but basically you lose yourself. And so right now, I'm still kind of trying to figure out where does that lie, and I think he's still trying to figure that out. But I've been calling him Captain Dad because he has raised them from the get-go. He's had the 2 kids. I haven't. And so I would love to hear what you all think. But it's also catching me off guard because of many different situations that if you want to know that much, we'll talk about it later. But but
I think we also need to get you driving. I think that would also be helpful.
Yes, that is something that I have been focusing on. So if you see me and I wave at you and it says student driver next to me when I'm waving at you, don't pull up next to me. Don't do that. You
Oh
might want.
God. What a
And who wants to
terrifying
be
thought.
driving?
All right. We'll just stay away from the East Valley. Everybody stay away from the East Valley. When we find out that Felicia is like on the road taking driver's tests and shit.
So this has been, I haven't really felt the need to, because especially we were centrally I cannot say words.
Are we struggling with our L's tonight?
We were centrally located, always near a freeway. Or I lived near people. That's another change that.
Oh, for some reason your husband decided it'd be a good idea to move you out to fucking Gilbert in the fucking East Gilbert, way the fuck out there for some God knows why, Scotty? Why?
Actually, there's a lot of gays out here. I say gays, but you know what I mean. The whole gamut are out here. Let's see. What did D say? And D and I have talked about this many times. She says, many parents, many of them feel that that way when their kids are grown. It's something I discovered as I talked to older parents and realized I didn't want that. It's hard, but so important. Yes. And so sometimes there are like little side comments that are like, oh, you're doing that. And I'm like, I've always done this. And part of me feels guilty, but part of me is like, I've always done this. So, but
And I think
I've
that's the thing, is finding
incorporated,
that balance.
I mean, and it's not like it's not like I walk in and completely ignore everybody. So, that
I've seen pictures of you doing
so,
stuff. Like watching, I don't know, was it Trolls or something? I don't know.
oh God, yes. Well, Trolls was a break from Boss Baby, which I've watched
Oh my God, I'm
so
so
many
sorry.
times.
I'm so sorry.
So many times. And I think that's the only one I've watched. Doc McStuffins, I got the theme song. I know if you want to know character names, let's go
I
at
am
it.
so glad that my partner's kids are older, because I would probably be gouging my eyes out. There are some things that they watch.
Well,
I'm
you
like,
have one
what
that
the
watches like
fuck is
anime all the
this?
time, don't you?
Well, it depends on what it depends on it depends.
Mm-hmm. But you probably have seen the same anime or something to that extent. You're like, I've watched this episode before.
No, because they all just stay in their rooms and watch shit,
Oh.
which is fantastic.
Oh, wow.
Except occasionally they'll come out into the living room and put something on, and then I'm like, what even is this? And usually when they're in the living room, they're
Oh my
watching
God, I could
shit
picture
on,
you doing that.
then they're watching shit on YouTube that I'm like, what? Why is this? What is this thing that, like, is this actually entertaining? Like, they'll watch like gamers like do shit on like GTA or whatever Fortnite bullshit, and I'm like,
so you know, we both have Switches, but you probably play more than I do.
Okay, so real quick on my Switch, I hadn't touched it in like 2 months. I just
really?
picked it up again like last week, and I got onto my Animal Crossing thing, and it was all like, I swear to God, I was ready to get back on it and have my islanders all be like Lord of the Flies and like roasting villagers over the spit and shit. Like I was waiting for it. I was waiting for it.
Oh my God, because you hadn't been on there for so long. Let's see what else. Walk in the street when Felicia's driving. Please don't.
Don't do that.
I would not even know. I'm an emotional person. I will be freaked the fuck out.
Shannon, now that your kiddo is graduating, you can come hang out with us. We got you. We got you.
You can help me figure out things too if you want.
You're close enough. We got you. So
but let's see what else. Yes. See, Shannon, people got you. The stuff we deal with within a relationship with a person who has kids. Yes. So this isn't my first rodeo, obviously, because the kids are like 19, are going to be 19 and 21. So that's not the thing. It's that she's so young and babies take up time.
You know what? You wouldn't have this problem if you just crate trained her.
Oh, Jesus. Most of the time, most of them watch it on their phones or in their rooms. Oh, okay.
Yeah, oh my God, I don't know what the fuck it is, but I was listening to it as I'm like getting ready and walking back and forth, and it's like, think like one of the like the food things, like whatever, but with crafting, like but with kids.
Oh.
No.
It's a train wreck.
Oh my God, what are you making? This is so cute.
Oh God, no. I get that enough.
Nope.
Have vodka will deliver. I'm a tequila girl.
Oh my God.
But yes, so it wasn't intentional to ditch you. It was more of I needed to play my part. And so I hope the next time I'm trying to see if I can go out sometime, I guess. I'm just not sure where the balance is and what that looks like yet. It's only It's only been a short time. For a long time, I would watch 5-minute crafts on YouTube. What is that?
Oh my God. No, 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 no.
Oh my God.
So we actually got, I actually got a question sent to us.
Uh-huh.
Or sent to me rather. So, and this is from somebody who is involved in pageantry and things like that. So they wanted to know our take on this. They wanted to know what our thoughts are on the systems that are deciding to hold nationals with contestant lists of nothing but appointed people. And
okay.
do we think it's good or bad for pageantry?
Okay, so you want to know my answer?
Mm.
I haven't been I've been involved in pageantry. I just haven't been in pageantry.
Right.
From outside looking in, I think that before COVID, I did not like appointments because I think that it was unfair. I also thought it was pretty lazy of the promoter because they wanted to get on the train for the next, what do you call it, the national pageant, or they wanted to promote their pageant so bad that they just created this and said, you know, we're going to go ahead and appoint you so that we can promote this title. I say that if you're going to buy the title, you should put in the effort. You should put in, and I have been lucky to be with some good promoters. So, but I say that those people put in so much effort. Even I was the Miss Gay Supernova US of A newcomer. I didn't feel like I was appointed, even though I only ran against one person. But I also felt like Mia took the time to make sure that I was prepared, even though I was like young and naive and totally ignored everything that everybody said to me. But during COVID, I understand some of the pageantry appointing people. My bigger fear is those that are competing sometimes unsafely, if I can say that, especially in some states where the levels are not contained. So there's, excuse me, and that's nothing against the people that just went to all the pageantry over the weekend, or God, there was like so many pageants I couldn't keep up. I was like,
So here's my take on it. I hate appointments. COVID or not, I hate appointments. You did nothing to earn that title. You and in a lot of cases, people that are from completely different states appoint people like across the country. Here, you get to represent this, but why? They literally did nothing. Literally did nothing to earn that title. And if you don't think it's safe enough to hold prelims, then it's not safe enough for you to be having a national pageant with 50 appointed people. Like if the people who are, if the states that you're trying to get to compete in your national pageant aren't willing to hold prelims, then you're not ready to have a national pageant. And that's just, I detest appointed titles because it also puts people in this situation where you are now going into this national pageant pretty much blind because you didn't have to compete. You don't know what to fix. You don't know anything. You're just going in with this title. Hey, I got this title. I'm this. And I'm no.
There are some systems that clearly they did it all across the board. I can clearly tell that they all did it. Now, the ones that, you know, just randomly select somebody and everybody else is fighting for their lives, like, you know, I know Texas is a big playground. I could just picture if somebody in Texas got appointed, it would become like, why?
I think part of the problem,
it's not level at all.
No, it's not. It's not a level playing field. And I think also if your pageant is based purely on appointed contestants, you run the risk of your pageant basically turning into a giant joke, because nobody's earned that spot. You know, there wasn't, even if you only have 2 people that compete for a prelim or whatever, one of them is still going to win. The other one will not. You know, and I'm still a big, I mean, I'm still a person that says if you have one person that shows up, that person needs to hit a point threshold or they don't get the title. Like, I don't think
that to the point where it's like kindergarten promotion.
Right.
Everybody
gets a participation trophy kind of thing. And I'm like, for coming from someone that has been involved in pageants for like a decade now and I've seen people bust their asses and get knocked out of the top 12 by a newbie that comes along, but at least they all fought to get there. It wasn't, here's your title, go do this thing. And I'm not a fan. I would not like to be appointed to anything.
But so with that being said, there are some systems and some pageants that have appointed people, and I have thoroughly enjoyed those that have not, who have held virtual pageants. Because even when you record yourself, some people do not put forth, you know what I'm saying? I don't know how to explain it. There's still that element that is pageantry that is like, oh, you can see, you know, her
I think
dress doesn't hit the ground, or, you know, just silly little things.
With the virtual pageants, I think that's a little bit tricky too, because when people compete, regardless of whether there's, you know, 10 people or 2 people that compete for like a prelim to go to nationals, right? When you go to nationals, it's an even playing field. Everybody is on the same stage. Everybody has the same whatever, right?
And it's nerve-wracking for all of us.
It absolutely fucking is. With a virtual pageant, not everybody has good equipment. Not everybody has good space. Not everybody has,
but I would say that most of it has been based off of, you know, purely what you like. So even if somebody has like a crappy costume, sometimes it's more about what they're delivering. Because I have seen people in like not so wonderful costumes beat out people that have been fully decked out.
Right.
So I still think that it still has that element. It just doesn't have the element of like you're standing next to somebody with sweaty palms and then you're trying to figure out who's the winner.
Right.
It is what it is for the time being. Right. And I am ready for everybody to get their act together, and then we hit the road and get back to pageantry. I know that the Supernova pageant is scheduled for August, and hopefully people have their stuff together or not.
So Gretchen wants to know what the most important category is to focus on, and that honestly depends on the system. There are so many systems out there with different types.
Can we say more
different categories, different like Like I would say, what's your favorite? So for US of A, US of A has interview. It depending on where you're at, it's either creative evening wear, gown, or whatever, and talent. And for me, I think my favorite, I mean, talent is always fun, but I always like evening wear.
Creative evening wear. So most of the things on my wall are from evening wear, and that is my favorite category. Not that I don't have talent. It's just that is it's I don't know how to explain it. It's like I feel, you know, wonderful, and I'm about to show you how wonderful I look, how beautiful this gown is, and you put so much, not that you don't put a lot of money into talent costumes, because you do, but you put so much money into the feeling good, the making sure it fits good, making sure that if in essence, if your pants are on your boot, that it flows. I just love there's nothing I love fashion, period, because that was like my first passion before I got told that I'll never make any money in art.
Word. So for me, like, I like creative evening wear with the US of A, MI, and Diva and stuff, because for me, it gives me a chance to kind of step out of the box a little bit, like I did with my evening wear, the one evening wear when I won my title. I got to push the boundaries a little bit. I got to kind of be like, all right, well, look, I can do this, and I can pull this off a little bit, and I'm gonna throw in a twist that maybe you're not expecting.
But also, I love when somebody can have so many elements, because I have seen gowns that have had elements. I've seen suits that have so many elements, but sometimes it's not executed, or it doesn't. Maybe it looks good, but it's not executed. Like I love a clean line. I love, even if you're
more
gonna
is not always more.
Yeah, even if I just like clean. You can wear as much as you want, but if it's not clean and it looks like piles of clothing on top of you, like somebody left their laundry out and you just picked up their suit, I have a problem with that. I have a problem with like gowns that don't fit in places.
Oh, we all know how I feel about evening wear that doesn't fit. Lord, we all know. Also, I will tell you that with especially with MIs and divas, it's with US of A, the category is creative evening wear. Emphasis on the creative. And what bugs the fuck out of me is that just bling all over the place isn't creative. You've just had rhinestones throw up on your suit. I don't find that creative. If I were judging and there was someone with a suit that was super fucking sparkly that just had rhinestones all over it next to somebody who had a concept, who had like a suit that was well executed and had a real theme to it and was a little bit out of the box, that one's going to score higher than the one with the fucking rhinestones all over it, because rhinestones aren't creative. They're just not. They're shiny, but they're not creative.
Yes, showcase your personality. There is a chance for that too. And if you're shy, evening wear is probably the part where you need to work on, along with interview.
Yes.
My thing is always interview. I get so wrapped up in here that I don't hear this. And then I look forward and Freddie, the last time I ran for a pageant, I was too much in here. Instead of just letting it go, I had rehearsed.
A pageant that'll go down in infamy.
But well, that wasn't the last pageant, because after that,
oh, that's right. And then you ran for, I remember, yes.
But after that, I felt more confident. I felt more because I knew what I did wrong. I just knew, and as soon as that happened, yeah. But as far as appointments go, I feel like for COVID, I'm bending the corners for just a little bit. And then if your whole system is doing it, doesn't mean it's right. But I do prefer, like, if your whole system is doing it, you guys are accountable with each other and there's a support system. It's not just you handing something to somebody that you just follow online and you're like, oh, I saw you dance at that one place and you just said, yeah, that's great. Freddie, would you try out being
a drag queen? So I've totally done it. My biggest issue is that I can't like move or dance in heels very well, so if I were to do something like that, I'd have to like wear shoes that, right, like I could get away with like boots or whatever, but they couldn't have heels because I couldn't really do it. But I mean, I've totally done that. I've totally done it before. I've totally done, like,
there's pictures somewhere.
There are pictures.
I'm sure I'll show up in my memories soon.
I've totally gotten in, girl drag for stuff. When Coco Bardot was doing Star's Choice or whatever the fuck it's called, back in BS West when Coco Bardot was still here, I was one of her ugly stepsisters for a Cinderella number. So I it's not something that's completely out of my wheelhouse. It's just mainly it's the fact that I'm not comfortable moving around in heels and a lot of, so it's like,
me too.
Plus wigs and shit, like, not really my.
He's learning.
So I have a lot of wigs.
He's learning.
It's like kind of combining the whole thing like it's not entirely out of the impossible.
If anything that you have learned from me is wigs and Instagram.
Yes, that correct.
That's it.
We have some interesting news things to talk about this evening.
Yes, let's see. Let me get to that part. Hold on.
So the Manhattan District Attorney convenes a grand jury to consider charges in a Trump Organization probe. Witnesses are being told to prep. I'm really hoping that something comes of this. That would be really exciting.
Oh my. That would just be lovely, wouldn't it?
I would love that.
Look at that. What's the next thing? Trump claims that he had pure immunity during the January 6th insurrection because he was the president.
Which sounds to me like an admission of guilt, but he's also saying, well, I did it, but you can't do anything to me because I have immunity.
Does he though?
No, he does not.
Yeah.
Texas has approved permitless gun carry legislation. Yay, Texas. Folks 21 and older don't need a permit to open carry in public because that sounds like a really good idea. Good thing we don't have a problem with gun violence in this country.
Oh, bless our hearts, huh? Speaking of which, at least 8 people are dead following a mass shooting in San Jose today, right? At the light rail station up in San Jose.
Yep.
Being a Californian.
No issue with gun control. No issue with gun control. We're fine. Everything is fine.
Very scary. Thank you.
And CNN finally fired Rick Santorum after he made some racist and pro-colonization remarks at a convention for basically young conservatives because he's an asshat.
So this has gone on for quite a while, actually.
He made these remarks over a month ago, first of all. Why CNN took so fucking long, I don't know.
So this story was brought to our attention by Guido Martin, who sent, I should have sent you the link. Like over like maybe a decade span, there's documentation of things being said that were inappropriate. There are things that maybe just
but are we surprised? He's always been a twat. This is not surprising.
Yes,
this is not surprising.
So the thing that took over Twitter, which in the middle of all of the things that I was involved in, was kind of like, whoa, what's going on? So what everybody was saying is that CNN took their time with him. But there was somebody that, why can't I remember things today? There was somebody that, like within a snap, they were let off the air for saying something that maybe was less offensive. I say less offensive as in the person and the thing. And it was just, it creates this, when we let people go, are we doing it fairly? Are we picking and choosing who we are allowing to be bigoted on air? Are we, this man has also done things in public before and has never been reprimanded before. So where in the public eye are we going to hold people accountable? Where in the public eye are we going to stop letting people, because journalism used to be non-objective. It used to be no personal bias.
What's interesting though is that CNN did have fucking Santorum on payroll. He's a conservative. So everybody that's like, oh, you know, fake news, liberals, blah, blah, blah. Like CNN has different people on their payroll. They're not just left wing, you know, liberal, whatever. They have all sorts of people. So it's like, so for those of you that aren't aware, this is what Santorum said at a convention for basically young Republicans. He said, we birthed the nation from nothing. I mean, nothing was here. I mean, yes, we had Native Americans, but candidly, there isn't much Native American culture in American culture.
Mm-hmm.
Really, dude? Really? Really?
He also claims that he was savaged for telling the truth.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's exactly what happened.
He blames cancel culture for him being dismissed.
Yes, that's exactly what happened. It has nothing to do with you being a fucking racist asshat.
Yes. And he was once a member of our Senate. Ugh. Ugh.
And that's where everybody knows him for being a twat waffle from his stupid shit when he was in the Senate.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm trying to find this. Hold on. Just a second. Excuse me while I look through all my papers.
Oh my God.
It pertains to what we're talking about, so hold on.
Okay, we'll just wait for you then, shall we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks so much.
No
you're just a peach. Look at you.
You let us know when you're ready to continue, and
I'm trying to find the link that Guido sent me. God.
Oh my God. Guido, send things to me.
I told you it's in the shared box.
What shared box?
On the Let's Have a Fefe page.
I don't have a shared box.
You don't share your box?
Oh, there we go. Guido says that Santorum said that, you see, the straight white male, homophobic, racist bigot is the actual victim in all of this.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes, they are. The poor little snowflakes are just dying inside every time they get called out for their bigotry. I've seen it so many times. Like, who was it? There was someone that is either running for office or who is running or who is already in office somewhere, that when Facebook asked him to pick pronouns, he went on this big rant about how he didn't want to pick his pronouns because he's not into the drama. It's like, excuse me, sir, you literally just posted an entire thing about how you didn't want to pick fucking pronouns. Poor thing.
Yeah. So I'm at a point where I'm not sure where people are on all of this. I believe that he is leading the charge on. He is also one of the people that wants Donald Trump back in office. You guys just need to know that.
I said this the other day when I was talking, and I'm gonna say it again. All the shit that we have to deal with right now is 100% because of the bullshit that we've had for the past 4 years. Mm-hmm. All of it. Racists, homophobes, everybody has been given a pass for the last 4 years because they are very fine people and we love them.
Well, let's see. This is a quote from Rick the Dick. I think the right approach is to accept this horribly created in the sense of rape. But nevertheless, a gift is a very broken way, the gift of human life, and accept what God has given you. He added that rape victims ought to make the best of a bad situation. He was that guy. I remember this. Declaring that children received in rape are blessings in disguise.
So now there's these anti-abortion bills that are popping up, I believe, in places like Arkansas and Alabama, where they're going to say that basically after 6 weeks, abortion is illegal. Which is funny because now people are clapping back with, okay, well, since something that is literally this big and looks kind of like a little kidney bean, so that is now considered a person. So can we now insure it so that if there's a miscarriage, then we can collect on it? Can we get child support on that? Can we claim WIC or welfare for this thing? Like
those require money.
I fully maintain these people are not they're not pro-life, they're anti-abortion, because once the baby is born, they don't give two fucks about what happens to it. Plain and simple.
Absolutely. So there are these bills that are in different places. There are parents, there are people that are rape victims that are coming forward. What I think is missing, and I don't mean to, I don't want anybody to feel like they have to use their story to be, or feel like they have to put themselves out there if they don't want to. But I think that, because I have read stories of trans men being raped.
Oh, absolutely.
And being pregnant.
Absolutely.
I think that those people should step up and say, look, you already don't want me to be a man and live my authentic life, but now I'm a pregnant man. Look.
They won't care. That'll just it just adds to being mentally ill.
That's so ridiculous.
It just adds to being mentally ill. That's all that trans men saying, hey, look, I was raped and I got pregnant, that'll just give fuel to the fire for the conservatives to say, oh, well, then they're not really a man. They're still a woman because they can get pregnant. And it's a blessing in disguise. It's God telling them that they should just be a woman.
Isn't it weird how all these pro-life people are anti-mask and anti-vaccine?
Well, yeah, right? my body, my choice, right? Right?
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Yes, you're right. It's almost like they're completely full of shit because you don't know what side they're on. Because you say, okay, we can't kill the babies, but you're willing to kill your fellow man. And
they are completely full of shit. Period. That's just how that is. They are completely full of shit. There is no they're completely full of shit. And if they're fine with the no shoes, no shirt, no service, but then have a problem with wearing a mask, they're hypocrites. Which isn't surprising because they're fucking hypocrites anyway. Like, it is what it is.
Yeah, your body.
What's happening in the Minority Report?
Oh, yes. They are full of shit. It was the 1-year anniversary of the murder of George Floyd this week. And we are still waiting on the sentencing. I think that's in June, isn't it? And the trial of the other officers who have been given additional charges, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So here in Arizona, I didn't get to put this on the sheet, but I need you all to pay attention to the legislation as it comes. When does it come to an end? Or do they go through the summer? Am I getting this wrong?
I'm not sure.
I always get it wrong. Anyway, so there is a bill on the floor that it's called something like police reconciliation or some bullshit. And it allows for the police department to determine if they will release the body cam footage. If they feel that it will jeopardize an officer or it still is being investigated, they will not release the body cam footage. So what I need you all to do is tell your legislation, your senators, your whoever is voting on this bill that this isn't right. This again is one of those things where, like Obama said, we need to keep an eye on those things that they don't want you to pay attention to, because on the news it was really quick. They did it. It was kind of like a stab in the heart almost, because they did like this beautiful thing about George Floyd and how people are responding and how we're making progress, and then they, just really quickly talk about this bill that's on the floor and how they'll limit body cam footage to the public, and then it's like on to the next thing.
Yep.
Just really encompassing that we'll hide behind anything kind of mentality, that we're trying to protect the police, even though we say we're not trying to protect the police.
So to go along with that, the collective law enforcement groups, shall we say, are coming together, and they're trying to vote on whether or not they should be allowed to do their own internal investigations, or whether they should have an outside entity do investigations when it comes to officer-involved shootings and things like that. Not surprisingly, a good majority of them are saying, no, we should just do our own shit.
But that's the problem. It's almost like...
Correct. So, I will tell you that Sheriff Penzone has actually come out and has been very vocal about the fact that he thinks that it needs to be an outside entity.
Yes. And he's also a Democrat, though. So, and he's not the crazy Joe who was a Republican. There's just so many questions I got. I just wonder where these people are, and are they watching the same thing we are? Are we in denial? Are we?
They don't give a fuck. They don't care. That's the whole thing. Is
well, these are the same people that sit on abortion boards with no women on it. These are the same people that are not wearing masks and refuse to get masks or vaccinated.
Yeah.
And these are the people that are saying, have a baby, even if you know that you may not be able to take care of it later.
Well, keep in mind, of course, that, little girls at 10 or 11 can get their period, which means that they can have a baby, which means that if they are raped at 10 or 11 and they get pregnant, what these bills are saying is that they should carry that to term.
And we're also, so the southern states are like top of the line of human trafficking. People are taken across the border, blindfolded, don't know where they are, and raped. And then they come back here and have babies. So, hello.
But it's fine. It's a gift from God.
Where are the bills to help the human trafficked victims?
They don't care. They don't care.
So we
pick they only care about the fetuses.
So we're good Christians when we want to be, or we're good faith abiding people, law abiding people when we want to be. So
let's see. The family of Jamal Sutherland, who died while being forcibly removed from his cell earlier this year, was awarded $10 million. Sutherland was mentally ill, and when being removed for a bail hearing, was pepper sprayed and tased 6 to 8 times.
That's another one also that I know that I have heard officers myself here that they believe that they need more mental health training.
Yes.
I believe that if an officer gets on a scene, they need to call. I wish that there was emergency mental health professionals. Does that make sense?
There are. They go. The problem is that people call 911 and the cops get sent to these calls, right? If they asked for the fire department would go, and the fire department has counselors and social workers on call with them to go to these calls.
See, but you're always taught, call 911 and the cops will come.
Right. But the cops don't know and don't care when they're dealing with someone who is autistic, when they're dealing with someone who has other issues that they may be presenting as something else, but they'd rather just shoot first and then be like, oh, whoops, sorry, my bad.
Yeah. So, and I will say this, I've been saying it since I don't know how long, but you get more training as a cosmetologist than a police officer gets in police academy.
Yep.
I trust somebody with my hair more than I trust them to protect me.
Let's see. In LGBTQ news, Elliot Page released pictures of him after having top surgery. Oh my God, the baby is crying.
You.
Yeah, I know. Somebody, where is my partner and why isn't she managing the baby? So, which is great. You know, he looks very happy and we're all happy for him. However, please keep in mind that
I'm jealous.
This is
so good.
So, okay, so this is total privilege. He literally just came out a few months ago as being trans. In a lot of places, in fact, most surgeons still require 2 letters of readiness. They require you to live as the gender that you want to be for a year before they will do anything. But the fact that it's been less than 6 months and now all of a sudden all done. Now, I also have a question. How in the world do you manage to have abs, but then no muscles anywhere else?
I can answer that question. So it is, I know it's very weird, but when I was of a thinner sort, I had a 6-pack, but I didn't have like any arms.
He looks like a plucked chicken.
Yes, that's his own personal
like. So he's okay. So he's got abs, but I'm like,
But
the rest of you.
I wanted to ask, and I've wanted to ask this about Caitlyn too, because, and I think it's kind of unfair that they're throwing them both in the same bucket, but I'll get to that in a second. Could it be possible, because Elliot was very baggy clothes wearing, very I don't know what to say, that we didn't know, and it could have been possible that during the time that they were coming out that this was already done?
And that's still privilege, because again, in order for most trans people to have their fucking top surgery, whatever, it's still a thing for most places to be like, well, you have to live as a man for at least a year. We need 2 letters from 2 different therapists.
But
you have to like,
who's to say that hasn't happened?
Because he wasn't living as a man.
Oh.
He wasn't. He just came out. And while they're not the same people, the privilege is still there. Because most trans people can't just be like, okay, I'm trans, boom, look at me, all the surgeries, yay.
In this instance, I feel like Elliot was more careful.
Oh, he was, for sure. Absolutely, he was.
Actually took the, and I say this because we've talked about this at nauseum, but Caitlyn, it was like somebody had tapped her on the head and then all of a sudden, boom, I'm a woman. And you're like, what? And now you got a magazine cover? What? I'm confused. This was more, it wasn't so sudden and it wasn't so shocking, but it also was more of an educational moment. I
mean, Elliot definitely did. And I think he did this because of people like Caitlyn Jenner, but he did take a little more time to kind of reintroduce himself, and and that sort of thing. But we still have to acknowledge the privilege that comes along with this. And sadly, it is still another skinny, white, sort of, conventionally attractive trans guy that you see on all the posts. Oh, I can't believe these are actually women.
Oh, I'm glad I didn't see that. Big question for all of y'all, and I'd like to see your answer in the chat, is if so actually, well, Laverne Cox was already through, and didn't.
Who has a platform?
She has a platform? Who does?
She who? Because if you're talking about Elliot, it's he.
He or they. But it is true, though. You don't hear anything about Laverne Cox.
Nope.
Nobody talks about her. And she's a beautiful woman.
Yep.
I don't know.
Jenner does not have a platform. Not really.
Oof.
Not even
about the Kardashian platform. That was kind of the slide in, because I believe that they were using that to kind of, get rich. I suppose that there is the idea that Elliot's going to give folks unrealistic expectations.
I don't know that
more of what Hollywood and fashion mags do. Elliot's just the subject they've managed.
I don't necessarily think that's. I mean, he might give cis folks unrealistic expectations, but when it comes to trans folks, trust me, we are very well aware of what the expectations are. For me to get any other surgeries done, I still need 2 fucking letters of readiness, even though all of my paperwork, everything says male. I've been living as a dude for 7+ years. I still have to get 2 therapists to say that I am mentally stable enough to have whatever the fuck done to my body.
What was I going to say?
I still think he looks like a plucked chicken. Even with abs, it's just
he's always been thin.
Not my thing. Not my thing.
I was not googly eyeing over this, but I was like, damn, where'd those abs come from? What are they?
I said, you know what? He looks happy. That smile looks phenomenal, and that's wonderful.
And that's what we all hope that everyone becomes, is that their authentic self and they're happy with who they are. So I wish him luck. I just, you're right. Now that I think about it, but I remember us talking. God bless. I remember the weirdest things. But I remember us talking and talking about how like Chaz Bono had transitioned, another privileged white person. But I remember us talking about not seeing any trans people publicly.
Right.
How do you feel now that basically, how do you feel that trans people have made the front cover now, as opposed to 10 years ago? We were talking about how trans people were never seen at all.
I think visibility in any form is good, because we need that. We need people to be able to see us as like normal people, that we're just everywhere, and we're everywhere. We are, your doctors. We're the people that answer the phone when you call 911. We're the, you know what I mean? Like, we do everything. We are everywhere. But there's still this issue, and these are the things, like, these are the posts that we always see that are shared on Facebook. They're like, oh my God, I can't believe, look how hot these trans guys are. And they're all conventionally attractive, skinny, ripped, whatever. Like, we're still missing the whole, like, trans men and trans women
and
don't
the
look
BPIOCs.
right. Like we come in all colors, we come in all shapes. We don't all subscribe to the whole conventionally attractive thing. Like some, you know, some of us don't have hot bodies and we don't want hot bodies. We don't have abs and we don't want abs. Some of us will never have abs.
How long did Elliot get? How long ago?
So
I guess
in
did
looking at
Elliot get top
in
surgery?
looking at those scars, and just because he was out in the sun doesn't mean that he was ready to be out in the sun. Because I've known plenty of trans guys that did stupid shit after getting top surgery because they're like, oh, I know I
His
can be without my
scars
shit
healed
on.
up pretty quickly. So
Mine
also,
looked really, my scars after top surgery within a couple of weeks looked pretty healed.
So I would say Elliot is pretty young, right?
Yes.
So that is always working. And like I said, who's to say that this didn't happen before because of
Right.
privilege, that it didn't happen before he came out. So it could have happened way before he came out, and then all of a sudden, you know, it came down to it, and he was comfortable. He said, "I'm going to do this now, and now the world can see and hear my piece." Oh, that's good to share, Joan.
Mine looked relatively healed within less than a month.
Yeah, and so I think it just depends on the person. He is also very pale, so sometimes people don't of that nature do not have red
Our scars
scars.
sometimes don't show up that one, like you
know, some people are lucky and they don't get scars.
Right.
We are just human. Fuck other people's ideas. Yes. He's 34. Ugh, still jealous. That skin is just too much. He's white.
Let's see. In COVID news, here in Phoenix, certain bars have now said that you don't need a mask to enter. Period. No mask. Yay. That's still reaffirming that I'm going to stay my ass at home. The CDC has only relaxed guidelines for folks who are vaccinated. And since no one is checking, you're literally putting unvaccinated people at risk by saying, you know what? Fuck masks. You don't need a mask. Come on in. We don't care. But it's cool.
I am still one of the, I'm not saying I'm few people, but at work that, in fact, I was in a meeting today, and I think I was like one of the people that had a mask on. So it's still very, and we talked about children. We talked about, you know, I cannot do that. I can't. Still not going out. So are there a lot of you that still have not gone out? That have it? Laura, you go to the grocery store. Do you do the Instacart? I have heard of a lot of people saying that even after the pandemic is over, they're going to stick to Instacart. They're going to limit their time with people unless they know them.
That's why, like, our little get together on Saturday was everybody was vaccinated, 100% vaccinated, at full efficacy, and a very small group. Because we're not willing to do that.
Jones says, I don't care if others wear it or not at this point. Don't take my right to wear the one, though.
I still like the fact that, you know, regular colds and flus and things like that have gone way the fuck down since people are wearing masks.
I did read an article that somebody was questioning if they called it the extra clean culture, if that's going to go away. I have news for you. I kind of was doing that already. Like, I was wiping stuff down and being.
I know. Oh my God! Look, you need to wash your hands. Funny how that works.
So yeah, I've gotten out to the grocery store and now the office. I've only gone out once.
And I'm still not comfortable going to the bars. I'm just not. I wish I were. but I'm not. I miss performing. I want to go and perform so fucking bad. So fucking bad. But I don't trust people. I don't. And now the bars are just like, whatever.
All of them?
I think so. I know one in particular just made an announcement. They're like, you don't have to wear a mask here. Yay. Yep.
Hopefully it's not I work at.
Yeah.
And I learned my lesson. I'm not going to drag any bar names through the mud. So in April, we were at 2,000 cases. And now what are we at?
No, trust me. Only 10 states have hit the milestone of 70% of adults being vaccinated. Guess what? They're all blue states, and Arizona is not on that list. Shocker.
Well, we're a blue state now. I mean, we're still doing an audit, so maybe we're not a blue. We didn't talk about that. I could get into that, but let's not.
We're still at less than half the population being vaccinated, which again means no herd immunity.
And about 73% of folks who had moderate to severe COVID-19 experience have at least one long-term effect. I keep hearing about reoccurring headaches.
Chronic fatigue is a big one. Breathing issues is another one. Head fog, brain fog is one. But
so, and they're waiting to. Actually, they're doing tests to see if this is going to be more frequent in people. Is fungal infections in your lungs. So be aware of that when people are like, "Oh," and wash your mask. Can I say that? Wash your mask.
God, people, Jesus Christ. Even if you just wash it in the fucking sink, wash your masks. Jesus.
I mean, dip it, dry it, just give it a little bit of time to, You want to smell your breath?
And COVID-19 related erectile dysfunction. That enough would make, you would think that would make people get fucking vaccinated.
No, that's birth control. I mean, oh wait, we're fighting against that too. Damn. Why are we so we're so worried about dying out that we're gonna kill each other over stupidity, and we're just gonna keep procreating, and eventually we're just gonna genetically cross and start making genetically deficient people. Experts say that those who are, what is that word?
Experts are saying that those who are not inoculated, that's vaccinated, against COVID should not depend on protection from those who are. The risk for unvaccinated people is still about the same as it was during the January surge.
The CDC still says that unvaccinated people should stay masked, maintain distance, and not be dumbasses.
But nope, we're going to go ahead and just say whatever, do whatever you want.
Totally I think fine. They were being dumbasses before. So is that a chronic?
I think it might be. Oh,
wow.
So to give you guys here in Arizona, we're going to talk about numbers real quick. So again, remember in April 4th of last year, we were at 2,000 cases and 50 deaths. Today,
Lord, your fear is valid. Just know that.
I'm staying the fuck away from people. So as of today, we have 878,338 cases, 17,576 deaths. There were 656 new cases reported today with a positivity rate of 10%. Just to give you guys an idea, that's about 8,000 cases more than last week. $8,000 in a week. But it's cool, right? We're cool. Keep doing what you're doing, y'all. Keep fucking doing what you're doing. Because it's working. Oof.
Shannon says, fully vaxxed, still masking, and still want people I don't know or trust to stay the heck away from me.
Same.
That is, I think that's a consensus against all of it. But I just want this to be over, but there's so much. So I talked about this the other day. Is I think that we were so quick to let Orange Man make this a political debate. If we had gone independent of the government and listened to the scientists and listened to the health professionals, as because they it's still new, so we're always learning something about it. So what should have happened is Orange Man should have stood out of the way and let the people that are healthcare professionals, whoever are scientists, figure it out along the way. And what we should have said is, this is preliminary, and the next thing you might hear is a way to protect you.
He should have just injected the bleach and been done with it.
That would have been lovely. But what I say is, now that it's so political, it's politically just drenched in policies and things. And now people are like, well, isn't Pfizer like one of the companies that is getting like a lot of money from the government? Pfizer has always gotten money from the government. It's not.
They're big pharma.
We don't. The things set in place are not to protect the American people, is to protect the big pharmaceutical companies. So when people say, I'm not getting vaxxed because it's Pfizer, or they're saying, well, the government is paying all this money. They've been doing that. You have taken Viagra. The government already knew that you were going to take Viagra, and they depended on.
Pretty much any drug that you take, from over-the-counter fucking Alka-Seltzer to cancer drugs and shit like that, they're all manufactured by Big Pharma.
And I have all news for you.
And
Johnson & Johnson as well Johnson & Johnson has so many lawsuits against it that it's unbelievable that how quick the government is trying to shut down Facebook, but won't shut down a pharmaceutical company.
No, they don't care. They don't care.
And take it as you will. I still use Johnson & Johnson.
Well, the problem is that it doesn't matter what everything is. There's everything we touch.
The government has allowed it for so long. So you saying that you're not going to take the vaccine because it's big business trying to get money. They were already getting your money before that.
And if you're saying you don't want to take it because you're concerned about side effects, again, I got news for you. Literally everything that you take has potential side effects. Everything.
I mean, I'm lactose intolerant, but I'm not suing the dairy companies.
Whether it's a medication, whether it's a food, you run the risk of side effects with everything that you fucking take.
And the next time, and I have said this at work too, to some people that have refused to get vaccinated. So you eat donuts. Let's take those the little donuts, the chocolate ones or the powdered whatever. Look at the ingredients and tell me how many of the ingredients are in those donuts. You would be surprised.
How many of those ingredients can you pronounce in those donuts?
Yes. And tell me, especially when it comes down to like red dye number 280.
40.
Yeah. Why is that in there? Tell me why that's in there. And you tell me why you eat them every morning before you go to work, and you drink the coffee that you don't know what the ingredients are every day. And
everything.
But
literally everything.
You are afraid to take the vaccine. Please tell me. Please tell me. Tell me you drink soda every day, and
they'll never have a good reason. They'll never have a good enough excuse. There just isn't. Like there are people that legitimately cannot take the vaccine. There are people that legitimately. I have a friend who legitimately cannot take the vaccine. But that's why it's even more important for those of us who can to fucking do it. Like,
Laura, you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
Look at your cereal box.
Not the donuts.
Look at your cereal box. Look at everything.
Americans are guinea pigs of the world. Yes. And so I know that I have a gluten sensitivity, not an intolerance, but a sensitivity. And I've learned so much over the last decade about gluten and how it was created for the fact that like we couldn't put things in ice boxes because we didn't do that yet. And then when we discovered that we could create ice boxes, we decided to put in things like cereal because we wanted it to last longer. We put in things just left and right for people.
I made gluten-free snacks
I
on
know.
Saturday.
Shut
I
up.
made gluten-free prosciutto and a
Here we go.
gluten-free lemon icebox pie with blueberry compote. But it's fine. It's fine.
But
oh my goodness.
When people approach you and say, "Why I'm not taking the vaccine," just think of those things like, okay, they're gonna go buy a Dr. Pepper right now. Do they know the ingredients that are in that Dr. Pepper? Probably not. But they drink one every day.
Oh my goodness. We are over time.
Overtime, and we don't even get paid.
I know. Damn it.
Follow
Do we
us
have any
on-
gigs? I don't have any.
I do. I had one tonight that's probably over now. But it was virtual. Because obviously I was not ready at the top of the hour. So
I was.
You're right. June. So soon the Juneteenth story hour information will come out. I'm trying not to rush people. I just want people to know that it's coming. And then on January, wow, I'm trying to rush through there. June 24th and 25th, I will be emceeing the Let's Get Better Together, a virtual LGBTQIA plus focused. I need them to rename this conference. But it's all things that are LGBTQ plus health wise, but is inviting everyone, including to check out the workshop that Freddy and Teddy are doing. Are you doing that on the 24th or 25th?
I believe it's on the Friday, so the 24th.
Okay. So that'll be like the first day of the conference, and it's all online. If you, I believe the early bird prices are still up. If you don't think that you can afford early bird or otherwise, there is a chance to apply for a scholarship to attend the conference. So I say anytime that you feel that you need. It took me a long time to accept that I can get things for free. I don't know why, but if somebody is providing a scholarship, take it. Yes, I was wondering if you guys had thoughts on
Lil Nas X's Plant Explosion. So on SNL, did you watch it, Felicia?
Yes, I watched the video of it.
So my thing is, honestly, he did not practice in those pants, because if he did, he would have known that they would not have worked. I'm watching him and I'm like, I'm waiting for it. I'm like, oh, he's going to get on that pole and that's when they're going to split. And sure enough, he got on the pole and that's when they split. And it's funny because you can see the look on his face too. He's like, whoop.
He's like, my balls are falling out. Yeah. So I have, see, nobody's saying as much about Little Nas X at all. He's a person of color who is LGBTQ. So, but I think that he did phenomenal. And the fact that it's live TV and the fact that we do live things all the time, you do what you can when you can. And when the pants go, bloop, you say, oh, we're going to cancel the stripper pole. And we're gonna
stand here and I'm just gonna kind of have my balls.
Because I've had dresses that have popped open, and I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna dance right here.
We're gonna stand up against the wall, and we're just gonna.
And when people go, oh, that was so intimate. Yeah, it was.
Yes, it was. Yes,
as I go up the stairs back,
I think he did a great job. I thought that like both of his
I have loved how he has come into his own, and that he is. I think he's very well versed in being cordial but forceful about people saying, you're just going to go to hell. That's why he does a video that is just going to make you talk more about how he's going to go to hell. And that he has found his authentic self. That is the thing that I think that most conservatives are afraid of, is that they haven't found their authentic self.
Or they're afraid that their authentic selves really are this asshole bigot, and that's just who they are.
Yeah. Or they're just flaming homos, and they just are afraid to just break on out. You both should run for Emperor and Empress of the Imperial Court.
I have opinions on that, but I'm just going to not say them.
I don't know. I don't think I could. I don't think anybody would vote for me.
Again, I have my own opinions on things.
Yeah. Anything else? I just realized I have something else.
Oh, we're still looking for any artists out there that would want to donate anything to our Pride basket. That we're going to
coming.
Yes, we have a couple things that are coming from different folks. But if you have anything that is Pride themed or that you want to throw in the basket, we'd love to have it.
That's a discussion I wanted to have too.
Yes, Shannon, I have an opinion. Just one though.
Oh, so I also want to know your opinion on, because this has been something that's been floating across the internet. As we know, June is Pride Month. People are having qualms, let's call them that, about corporations gouging the LGBTQ community with rainbow stuff on it, with trans stuff on it. How do you, so this is a two-parter. How do you feel about that happening? Also, when these campaigns are shot, this is how I come into this side of the realm, is because that's my profession, is that when advertisers are these big corporations shoot the advertisements or the commercials or whatever you want to have, they don't hire queer professionals. They don't hire a queer photographer to take the photos. Right. They don't hire queer publicists to publicize the events. How do you feel about this, that, and the other?
So there are some companies that have sort of been supportive and things like that for a while. I actually noticed on my, funny you should talk about Johnson & Johnson, my face wash that I got on clearance, which is the only reason why I bought it, because I'm a cheap bastard, is Johnson & Johnson. And I was washing my face the other day. I was like, why are there rainbow shit all over my face wash? My face wash is very gay right now. And it's because Johnson & Johnson put out this whole thing where they were like, 10 years of supporting Pride, blah, blah, blah. So there's like rainbow shit.
Only 10? They're like a 100-year-old company.
10 years. And so there's like rainbow shit and like gay couples and stuff all over my face wash. But honestly, most of it is just pandering to the rainbow dollar, because they know that the gays will buy the shit. And we will. Because
I mean, we were buying it before they went all out.
Right. And I fully admit, I actually was at Target the other day and I bought the shirt that had the little rainbow ice cream cones on it.
Oh, I need to get down there. There's one down the street from here.
Like, they do it because they know that we'll buy it.
Shut up,
and I wish, I wish that, like, when they do this shit, I really wish that they would have queer models, queer photographers, queer, publicists. I really wish that if they're going to do it, they would go the full mile, but they won't. And honestly, though, right now, especially with all the shit that's coming down and all the anti-trans bills and all this other shit that's coming, like, we do need all the support we can get. There are some things that I am not a fan of, like big banks and things that tend to fund other not so great things. I don't, but it's hard because they are 100% pandering to the rainbow dollar.
So I am okay. There's part of me that isn't okay, but I'm okay with because this happens all the time. So we have like Black History Month. God bless. There are things that come out and you're like, oh, okay, well, now you support Black people. That happens. Like McDonald's started when I was a kid, like Black 365. That has existed for a long time.
Right.
Now, if they came, McDonald's has always supported all kinds of people, of course, because they're everywhere. Right. Target has been all over the place. What I wish, though, is that they took the time, these big corporations, to find out what the needs of the community are and donated those dollars that they earn from. Not necessarily all of it. Maybe they say like 25% goes to the local LGBTQ center here in Phoenix. Maybe they say we'll donate.
We don't have an LGBTQ center anymore.
I know.
Pride shut it down.
We can't have.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say that? My bad.
But things like that, I wish that like I haven't heard any big corporations saying that they're against the anti-trans bills. So yes, we're damned if they do and we're damned if they don't, because in the beginning, when just like Adidas and Nike were doing it, we were like, oh, that's okay, kinda. It's weird that a big corporation wants to make us a shoe, and then we all bought the shoes. Okay,
I did not. Thank you very much.
But you know what I mean, collective. We all bought the shoes. We all bought the socks that had rainbows on them. So I think that people have more time on their hands still because of the pandemic, that we're trying to fight the good fight, but we're not being realistic about the things. What I would say is that you go to those Targets, you go to those Johnson and Johnsons, you go to those whoever, and say, on my behalf of my purchase, have you guys ever thought of, and sometimes they answer back, especially on social media, have you guys ever thought about, supporting, a local LGBT center, or doing something in the community, or maybe fighting against these anti-everything bills, because they're still going after the gays, they're still going after the trans, they're going after everybody, because cis white people just not happy. So
nope.
So with that being said, I support it kind of because I feel like I'm being seen, because I remember being a kid, seeing a gay guy in public was just like, whoa. And not seeing myself in the media, we've talked about that at length too. It just feels like you're being seen to me.
It makes things a little more mainstream. And it's like, again, like Jeremy said, they're damned if they do and they're damned if they don't, because when they're not doing it, they're like, why isn't this changing? Why is there any rainbow stuff? Me. Because we've all seen it. We've all heard it.
I mean, Freddie and I have found gay stuff at the local Goodwill, but y'all don't
random, all sorts of random shit, like totally.
Y'all don't go there. So
real quick, another thing that's been popping up is for some reason now everybody seems to think that things like kink should not be allowed, leather stuff should not be allowed at Pride, which is interesting. Considering
that's a big conversation.
That's a big conversation that's being had right now. And personally, I think it's a bunch of horse shit. If you know anything about the history of Pride, it was started by trans and people of color, and that many of whom were sex workers, many of whom were in the leather community, many of whom were judged based on the way that they look and the way that they acted. And it's a bunch of horse shit. If the leather community want to go out and march around in leather, bless them, because fuck, it's hot. Most prides now have areas that are 18 over, where they have more adult themed things, but somebody just walking around in a pup hood is not, thrusting their kink down your throat. I
think the part, like, as some people have put it, is that some people in our community are parents, and we've always said this for years, is like people in chaps. You know, some people don't wear the correct underwear or little to none at all. Maybe that is a problem, but I
I
don't think
think,
that
well,
kink
things
in general is a.
if your bits are covered, it shouldn't fucking matter because you're gonna see less coverage at a beach.
Yeah.
If people are, you know, if there's going to be demonstrations of flogging, if there's going to be demonstrations of whatever the hell that is, that
Well,
needs
that's
to be kept
behind
in
like a gate.
that
I mean,
needs to
what
be in like
sees
the
that?
18 and over area. And you know, there are
Is
plenty
somebody from Phoenix
of
Pride watching this?
there
'Cause
are plenty of people that walk around Pride with their kids that, and parents are really good at this. If there's something they don't want their kids to see, they're really good at distracting them.
I did see somebody post that they weren't going to take their child to Pride because they thought that that some things were just too offensive to be seen that young. That's your decision. I
Right.
don't I can't tell you what to do in and out of your house. What I do think is that it's part of our culture, and I think that even in mainstream culture, it sex has been just, especially here in America. Oh God, if you watch like, I don't know what channel that is, but you can see people frontal nude any day of the week on, I don't know, but you could watch a show and be like, "Oh shit, she naked," and nobody. I mean, in that culture, you are. I I know this isn't just my opinion, because I know that in other cultures, nudity is nothing. They just go, "Oh yeah, she's naked." Here, it's like, "Oh God, you're naked. You're."
We would prefer violence to nudity.
Uh-huh.
We would much
And then
prefer violence to
we do,
nudity.
we have full
And
action movies where people's heads blow off, but
and
that's not offensive.
no.
But when we see people's asses, we blur them out.
Yeah. And honestly, you know, there's the Pride was literally founded on the backs of the gay community that was not, you know, this white Twinkie. The leather community, the trans community, those are the people that started Pride. Those are the people that started marching. Those are the people that really, and if you have a problem with it, then you need to learn your history. Take your kids to Pride. It doesn't fucking matter. I've been with people that have taken kids to Pride. And if they have questions about something, then like Guido said, you can use that opportunity to teach, to, you know, these are the different types of people, because not everybody is the same and not everybody has to be. And this is why, like, kids should absolutely be at Pride. I 100% agree with that. Kids should be at Pride.
I am probably one of the few kids that had like the sex talk at like 9 or 10, and grateful for it. Because
I
there are so
still
many.
haven't had the sex talk with my parents. I'm still pretty sure that you have to pee in somebody's butt to get pregnant.
I mean, they see more nudity on TV, I think.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. In movies with no context, at least, you know, it's, and
Thank you,
again,
Joan. Thanks for
thanks,
supporting us.
Joan. And again, it's not really any more or less nudity that you're going to see at a beach.
I mean, we let
People
people
wear
walk in
skimpy ass
bikinis that are like
bikinis,
this.
right? But that's fine. But God forbid, you know, it's a gay person like that. So I don't know. Anyway, we should probably start winding down. We're way over.
Sorry, I got sidetracked because I had a question pop up in my brain, and I was like, "Oh, I need to ask this question." Freddie, do we
Janet,
need to
I'm good. I'm good. I got this. I know how things work.
I
got
so.
it. I'm totally on it.
I mean, there's still people like in their 50s still trying to figure things out.
Like I said, it has something to do with the butt, and then I don't know. It's fine.
Is that how it works? Am I pregnant?
Probably.
Oh, damn.
I know.
Damn.
I know. Oh my goodness. You guys, thank you so much for sticking with us for another season 9 damn seasons we've been doing this, and this last one was a doozy. Like, it was long. Like 8 and 9 just kind of melded together into one super mega season. So we appreciate you sticking with us. We appreciate our patrons on Patreon, because without you, we wouldn't even be close to where we need to be in terms of upgrades and things like that. And we've got some content that'll be coming out for our patrons soon. So if you want to get in on that, make sure that you become a patron on Patreon. The higher the tier, the more you'll get to see. So there's that. But yeah, thank you.
And still
all.
none of my nudes. None of my nudes.
No. I'll send some nudes. They may not be of me, but
Oh, I forgot to send you a unsolicited
nude? Are we there? Is that where we're at now?
Somebody sent me an unsolicited dick pic. I forgot to send it to you.
That's
I deleted it though.
Oh, damn it. Anyway, thank you all so much.
Maybe that's what I should do on the Patreon, is say these are the unsolicited dicks.
Oh my God, we're getting so much trouble. Oh, Jesus, we're getting so much trouble. And we will see everybody next season for season 10. We're in double digits.
Please look on our social media. Everything is Let's Have a Fefe, one word. And yes, it looks like Let's Shave a Fefe. I got it. And because we usually come back in October. If that's too long, we'll come back sooner. But we usually come back in September, October. So that gives us time to let go and then come back. You don't need the pictures? Dang. I could have got you.
Oh, there goes that idea.
I mean,
you can always text Felicia and she'll send you somebody else's dick pics.
Not my own. Anyway, but I appreciate everybody supporting us. I appreciate Joan coming through with the huge auction. You guys all participating. I appreciate Marissa making the hair look good, because Lord knows I was in trouble. And just so many things. Gretchen, Bone and Basil, Burley Barber, who is now with what is it?
Oh,
Shades.
Something fades. Something something.
We posted on our Facebook page.
I don't know. It's like Totally Rad Fades or something. I don't know, something like that. Yeah, but they're back up and doing things, which is really exciting.
I was like, oh my God, it's close to me. And then just everywhere, everything that you guys have done, purchasing stickers, buying things, doing things, all that. So until next time, I say keep the conversation going, and we'll be back for season 10. Yes. If you have any ideas for season 10, let us know.
Yes, please.
I'm open to it.
Please.
All right. So that is it for me, because I keep rambling. Anyway, have a good night. Thank you for supporting us.
And good night.
Of season 9.
Yes.
Promotional consideration for Let's Have a Fefe provided by Wigs of a Kind, The Burley Barber, Bone and Basil, as well as our patrons at Patreon. Go to patreon.com/Let's Have a Fefe to become a Fefe patron. Virtual tips accepted at paypal.me/Let's Have a Fefe. Subscribe to the Let's Have a Fefe podcast. You can listen on your favorite podcatcher. See you next week for your Wednesday night conversation. This has been Let's Have a Fefe.